When I am asked what I'm most proud of this program, I think I can reflect on some of these things. I've always asked my student athletes to be tough, to meet adversity and meet challenges and find ways to be victorious over those adversities. I have asked them to meet any problems head on and go right through them or find ways to be successful around them. I have asked them to go into the classroom and do their best academically. I've asked them to be respectful around campus. It's those answers that to me make me most proud to have been here.
I think my dad's legacy, especially here at this campus, will always be great. I think he was a really well-liked person by his staff, his faculty, and I think players really looked up to him, especially him coming out of being drafted, having a great college career. I think a lot of guys respected that.
I think, to me, the greatest thing about coaching has been building relationships with players and watching them develop into men from their freshman year through their senior year.
What was Coach Conte like in '97? Well, we didn't even know if we were going to have a program. Coach Conte came here and saved the day. He really did. We had no money. We fundraised. His energy, his intensity, I absolutely loved everything about it.
When I think of myself as a young coach and early in my career, I had so much that I needed to learn. You need to be a coach and you need to separate yourself from your playing days to your coaching years.
Coach Conte, as a tactical coach, very good at pulling you aside and explaining to you the procedures of what you need to do. And I never had a coach like that. I usually had coaches that were screaming at you, pounding the pavement, things like that, where coach would pull you aside and say, hey, if you turn that right foot and burn that calf muscle, things like that. His ability to communicate and to be able to be calm, but with a kind of calm intensity, if you will.
If you make a mistake, he's not gonna yell at you, he'll more talk you through it. That just gives me confidence being asked more than being screamed at.
Having been at CalU for 29 years, I have had the blessing of coaching both Dean Minerva and Ethan Minerva.
How it feels to have Ethan here at Cal, I couldn't have asked for anything better. He had a few schools that we were looking at and that were recruiting him, but at the end of the day, I personally sold Coach Conte on Ethan. So having him here, to me as a father, not only as a former player, is awesome.
Day one coming here, I was excited because obviously my dad played for Coach Conte, so I was excited because he's told me so many great things about how when he played, all the guys were just so welcoming. And Coach Conte, I feel like, really hammers that.
Having both Loudon and Payton on the team, again, later in my career, has been an amazing situation for me.
My grandfather worked here. He was a professor his whole career. My dad, obviously, an amazing coach here his entire career. And then getting to be here just with my dad was amazing, but then with my brother too, was as good as it gets really, because every good moment is amplified to a great moment because you're with them.
Really, as far as a certain moment during the season with all three of them, I don't know if there was a certain baseball moment, but every moment, going to restaurants, getting on the bus, pre-games, all that, being with those two is really amazing for me.
I think the greatest thrill for me, though, is simply the time spent with them. Obviously the accolades and the things that they did well were great on the field, but I really enjoyed the fact that I got to be with my sons for those college baseball years.
As a person, he always taught me to work hard, stay humble, and be grateful for everything I have.
So always just holding yourself to the highest standards, and everything that he's always says, whatever you're doing, do it 100%, you're doing that. If you strike out, you can't carry that out into the field. You got to clear it and be a team guy in the field.
I've tried very hard to treat the players with respect and learn each day, because I've learned just as much from my players as they've learned from me.
Still to this day, even when I talk to him, as a 50-year-old, man, I still like his knowledge and his way of life. Just a huge amount of respect for him. So.
When people ask, why have I stayed at Cal all these years, there are a lot of roots in my family that have come from CalU. And, my father taught here for 40 years. My mother graduated from here, and she was a high school teacher locally. I grew up in Brownsville, which is very near CalU.
As far as the program being a part of my identity, it's huge. I wear it when I go to the gym. I wear it when I go to the grocery store. I bleed the black and red. Coming to Cal was a special place.
If I had one thing I could say to my dad after he stepped away from coaching was to, just appreciate all the moments he had and try and not look back and just appreciate everything he already has.
I also coach baseball. I'm a travel baseball coach for the Fennell Brothers organization, but I've had a awesome experience getting to coach there for a couple years now. Some great kids that will be great baseball players. But I'm so fortunate for everything that he taught because, having that last name, having to hold myself to those standards, I've gotten really close and a lot of compliments from the parents that I coach, and all I can say is that's because of my father for doing that. Just everything that I coach with, I try and take exactly what he did here and continue to do that, but I'm nowhere close to what he is. It's just, I'm happy to get that opportunity to even be complimented on it because it's everything that he showed me.
It's just been a true blessing, and I am very appreciative of the opportunity.